Hello guys, welcome to today's session. As you can see, there's a bit of a gang here on today. I feel like we're growing week in, week out. Usually you're used to hearing my boring voice for an hour, and then you've had to struggle listening to Blayn's accent for the past few weeks. But we have a true special guest here today. We have Max from Profectus AI, who is also a trader at Darwinex. If you haven't seen his track record, his ticker is PYE. Super impressive. And Max is here to go over, as we do every Tuesday, a strategy development session. You guys may be familiar with FX Streamer, which is sometimes the software that we use in these building sessions. How are we doing, Rob? Hope you're all good, my friend. Rob, 4:01 on the dot today. It's good to have you here as always. Profectus AI is very similar. It's a block builder where you can export your code to MQL5 or MQL4 and deploy your strategies on MetaTrader. However, I am going to hand the microphone over to Max so that Max can do a proper introduction of himself and Profectus and then lead the charge for today's session. So Max, welcome to Darwinex TV. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. So yeah, I'm Max. I started Profectus AI because I had a need of developing a lot of strategies very quickly. I've been automating for a long time, and I figured there needs to be a platform like Profectus that makes it easier for just manual traders to automate their trading plan. And what I learned over the past years helping thousands of people to automate their trading plan is it is so important to understand how to get a manual trading plan, like your step-by-step rule set that is for literally every trader slightly different. How to translate that from just thoughts and words and your actions you do manually to be able to automate it in a platform like ours. That is the hard part, and that is hopefully something I can answer today. We're gonna build a strategy. I'm gonna walk through that strategy in TradingView, and then from TradingView we're gonna build it step by step, block by block, literally in Profectus AI. And it will be a strategy that is based on seasonality. I shared this strategy back in November, but it goes a long time back because in 2019, I started to trade gold every year at the same period. And that is the yearly gold run. And we definitely did spot that run again this year, or at least last December. And of course, the start of this year, gold went crazy. So I want to show you that seasonal play because it also lays the foundation for you to trade other seasonal plays, or if you have like a trading strategy that looks at a monthly time frame, the weekly or the daily, and you have that daily bias or weekly bias or monthly bias you want to play, it is nice to know, okay, how can I build strategies in that direction, right? So you're building more or less a multi-time frame analysis play here, but we're going to take it step by step and keep it super simple. So I'll share my TradingView. And what I want to show you is there's a pattern I spotted in back in 2019 or 2018. 2019 was the first time I traded it. And that is every December. If you look at the monthly time frame, and you can do this on your own as well, you can see here, December, pretty small move, and then a big explosion in price if you look at last year. But this pattern, literally, I'm not gonna look at every single year right now, but every time, right here, you can see this is December, the monthly candle on December, right there. You can see you have a big explosion to the upside, right? So price is just moving to the upside, and normally it moves like 100 points or 200 points. And of course, with automation, you can just optimize that to see, okay, on average, we move or gain X percentage. If we go back to December before that, you can see that is then, where is it? 23. Of course, that is right here. And you can see we again have this move for the upcoming months. And then here you have December as well, an up move. And every time you look back, almost every year, that move happens. And if you have a bias like that, you can of course trade it. You can go to the lower time frames, stack positions, and that's what I used to do manually. Back in 2019, I did that manually, just taking a trade, trailing it to break even, and then take a next trade and really stack a nice position until price, exploded to the upside. And I think this is a very powerful strategy that literally changed my trading because it boosts my performance every year. And yeah, how to build something like this. And by the way, if you have questions, just drop them in the chat. Happy to answer them. Let's go to Profectus real quick. What you can see is we have here to the left, we have all the blocks. So for the people that are new to no-code automation, we have categorized it in a nice way when you have when to trade. So these are blocks like when do you run your algorithm. You can drag and drop them on the canvas. And you can see I've already a few blocks here. And this is the whole algorithm that takes a trade. It takes multiple trades even when the December run is starting. Then we have trading rules. Here you have trading rules. You can see you can compare things in a trading rule. That is just like a manual trader. And then we have here the buy now, sell now blocks and placing pending orders. That's real quick to where to find everything. And we have here templates you can use and test yourself if you don't want to start from scratch. But let's talk about this trading plan. Let's go to gold real quick and let's break this down. Let's go to, let's say, this example. We use replay mode to really make it easy. And how can we translate this overall bias, this higher time frame bias we have in an executable trading plan? So what I normally do is in December, we go to the daily time frame. Now here we have November, then December, and normally around the 19th of December, then the gold run starts. That's something I tested. It's not every year like the 19th of December, but more often than not, then the move happens. So what do? Now you know, okay, probably price will rise or gold prices will go higher from this level. But how can we translate this to an algorithm so we can backtest it, find the best stop loss, the best entry, and everything? What we need to do is to first find the target. So right now we are located here at 1817. And we need to find a target. So we, of course, can adjust that target. But just to start out, let's say the trading plan is the 19th of December. I'm going to look for a target that is 100 points above this level. Okay, just to have something to hold on to. So the level was 1817, and I want to trade until 1917. That's the first thing. And then we have a level there. If price reaches that level, I want to close all my positions. I want to take my profits and I want to stop trading because this is a seasonal play. I just want to trade it in December to January and then stop trading because the move happened or didn't happen. And that is our edge. How do you get this is by just finding the close price here and add 100. How can we do that in Profectus? Let me show you. So here back in Profectus, what we want to do is run per candle. So every daily candlestick close or 1 hour, doesn't really matter. We want to run per candle. We want to check something, and that is this trade rule. And this trade rule is looking if we already found a target. Well, when we just deploy the strategy, we didn't find the target yet. So the algorithm will check here, run per candle, this trade rule. If it is yes, we move through to the next block. If it's false, well, it is a dead end, right? So we check open price is 0. If that is 0, then I want to modify a variable. This variable I used here. And then we modify that to find that open price of the candle close of 1. Okay, so if we go back to this example, what we are doing is just looking, okay, what is the close price of this candle? We store that in a variable. We write that down. So if for the less advanced users, a variable is just something your algorithm remembers, just like we as a human being have, of course, a brain, we have memory. An algorithm also has memory. And what we want to memorize is the close price of this candle, which is 1817. And then we want to take that number and add the target, let's say 100 points. Okay. How we do that is by using using here the open price variable that we create here. And then we store the information. The candle close of 1 is stored. So now we have that 1817 is stored in the memory of the algorithm under open price. And then if we have that, we can also take like the point target price is the open price, so what we selected here, so the close of 1, and we plus 100 points. So you can see that here, or 70 here, but let's make it 100. Now we find the target. Okay, that's the most important thing we have here, because we need to exit this trade, because the bias is not for the whole year. If you are building another system like with a weekly bias, you can of course also tell the strategy to just target the next high, or go to the left here, target the next high. But for this particular strategy, what has been working for many years is just 100 points target. And what's next? Let's dive into it right here. What I want to check is if variable stop trading is 0. We're going to talk about this later. Then we have a candle close price 1 needs to be above the highest price of the last 2 to 21 candles ago. And we run this algorithm on the 1 hour time frame. So what I'm going to show you is let me quickly show you. After we find this candle close and we find this level up here, we go to the 1 hour time frame. And now we're going to look at what is the highest price of the last 20 candles. Okay. So you have a tool for that, I believe, in TradingView. We look back 21 bars. So what is the highest price of these 21 bars? That is this level. Okay, so 1821. If that breaks, the algorithm needs to take a buy position. Super simple. We're going to buy every time the 20 hour high breaks. So let's see if that happens here. Okay, it doesn't happen. And then probably this will be the 20 high right now, and we adjust it. That's the whole strategy, you know. We go back now to the trade rule blocks. We have here candle close of 1 is above the highest price of these last 20 candles. Then during this during a session, so during the day, we're gonna look if the spread is low. Well, normally the spread is low if there is no news, and then we're gonna execute a buy position. This buy position has inside risk management, so 1% per position. You can of course adjust that. We have here a stop loss placed, which is percentage of price. For the ones that are new regarding percentage of price, if you, let's say, have a 1% stop loss based on percentage of price, it is like this. Okay, so this would what I classify as a 1 POP, a 1% stop loss. And yeah, we of course can adjust that, but that is a detail. And then the target. So percentage of stop loss is, we have here a target. The target is 100 points, or more or less the distance from the last open of the day, the 19th of December, when you run the algorithm plus 100 points, that would be your target. And that is how you execute a trade. So let me quickly recap, because if I go very quickly, it might not be that good to understand it. The algorithm loads on the chart on the 19th of December. It is looking for a level where price is currently at and what to target. That happens here. The open price is 0 because the algorithm just started running. And then we modify the open price, that variable candle close 1. And then we also calculate what the level is 100 points above it. If we have that, then we are still allowed to trade. So stop trading is still 0. Eventually, we're going to change that. Then if we have a candle close 1 above the highest price, run in session, check the spread, then take a buy trade. So every candlestick, we're going to check, do we have a 1 hour close above it? And then we take the position. Okay. Then what happens next? What is happening right here? And so we don't want to hold our positions until the end of time. We want to close them at one time. And that's when the target is hit. So here, run at time at 3. We're going to check if the candle high of 1 is above the point target price. And this is just a simple way to, if we have our line right there, let me share this, and then We have our target right here, okay? We're gonna wait until the high of the 1 hour bar. Eventually we will hit that. And when that hits, let's see if it doesn't take too long. And when that hits, we want to stop trading. I'm not gonna wait for it, but then we want to stop trading. And that's what we have created here. Run at time at 3 every day. We're just gonna check, did candle 1 hit that level, that point target price? If that is true, select all the trades we have open. Maybe you have like a lot of trades open. We close the trades. 100% of all the trades are closed. And at the same time, we add stop trading to 1. And that is like a buy or a sell gate is how I call it. And that happens right here. Now, stop trading is not equal to 0. So it's a dead end and we'll never take another trade again. Okay, because we already hit the target and therefore we want to stop trading and we don't want to have new positions opening up. So this algorithm, if you run it, you will see that it only takes trades December, January, maybe February, depending on the year. And then it hits target and then it stops trading for, until you change it. Then run at time. Here at 10, we we calculate the day count. And that is also, I want to turn on the algorithm and close maybe the trades in 40 days. If the target was not reached, price is choppy, I want to still, close maybe after the day count is like 30. That happens in this block. The day count is equal to days to close, and that is set at 40. So after 40 days. Okay, guys, do you probably understand this, Blayn, Kieran, or is this?
Yeah. No. I think it's for the guys that are maybe not too sure what to do. Obviously, they can easily watch it back, but I would say for the most part, yeah, it's fine, straightforward.
Cool. All right. So this system in general takes now a lot of trades. It will take a trade every time that a candle closes above that highest price, right? So you're really stacking your trades. What you can, of course, do is that you only want to have one trade open. How to do that would be before you, for instance, take this candle close 1 is above that highest price, you can delete this and you can add like select trades, count trades. How many trades do we have open? And if you place those blocks in between here, you can select like, okay, if I have less than 5 trades open, then I move through and then I might take another buy position. So that's something you can test. What we have tested is that stacking positions is nice, but you don't want to have 20 trades open, right? So it is quite nice to test it for yourself to see, okay, how does that impact my trading performance? Another question I often receive regarding this system, this strategy, is if we go to trading view and we share this tab. So if you imagine, let's say let's go to the daily. Eventually this bullish move happens. There you go. Let's say you have a trading position right here with a small stop loss and your overall target. And then there's another trading position very close to it. And then after that, very close again. What you can do is measure the distance between these two positions and have like a minimum distance away from the open price. So you're not stacking the same trades at the same level. That would be just increasing your risk. That's something you can do to protect yourself with a system like this. All right. So far, no questions? Blayn, have you built something like this before?
Yeah. I've built like a variation of it. Like obviously, you'll know me. Like I'll build loads of different versions of it. Like there's so many. Just with the seasonality pattern of gold, there's so much that you can build around it anyway. But this one is a very simplistic way of really capitalizing on the run. I mean, I suppose what's quite interesting as well. Have you ever tried it on silver?
No, but have you? I have traded silver in the past.
Yeah,
Is the pattern the same though?
It's not always. No, it's only when it does go though. Like, because obviously there is a little bit of correlation between the two.
Yeah.
This year it would have been a crazy one.
Yeah, if you see this chart, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so you have December 24, then we have December or 25, then we have 24, which looks quite good. December here, it's very late. It's late to the party.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
gold goes first.
It's lagging a bit.
Yeah, but here it goes. No, I think we did investigate it in the past, back in 2019, 2020, but it was not really ideal. For us, it was mostly focused on just the gold run. And we have tested many things. Like we also tested break retests on the lower time frames for EMAs. I think I've shared that in the past as well. But keeping things super simple and having multiple entries is definitely the secret. So if you go back to, you can see here in Profectus, we don't have management here in the trades. We only have like select trades and then close trades. But what I recommend to also test is you expect a big explosion, so you want to trio your stop loss. How you would do that in the platform is go to templates, and we have here management templates. And then, for instance, trailing stop loss might be nice to add. You have here the template instantly in the canvas, and then you have buy trades and sell trades. Well, this is buy only, so we can just shift, drag, and delete. Here you can see run per candle. So every candlestick close, we're gonna select the buy trades, so buys only, and then we check profit. And the profit, if you're floating, let's say 1% or 2% in profits, then you're gonna trail your stop loss on the moving average. And then you can optimize, of course, the moving average period. I would keep it like 20 or 50 on the 1 hour. Maybe have like a slower trail, but that's of course something you can optimize. I would just make an input, call it like moving average. And then here, type in the input. And then it becomes a setting in MetaTrader for the ones that are new. And then just optimize that. That is normally my approach. I like these templates. If you ever build a system, I almost always, still till this day, I use these simple management styles. This one is the candle high low trail. That is from the turtle traders, from the ones that know that book. And then we have here the trailing stop loss, just simple moving average trail. Partial profit taking. I almost never use it, but I've seen some people, and I'm curious if you guys used it. If I use partial profit taking, it makes my equity curve smoother, but not really a lot better. Like my drawdown goes lower, but my performance really, really decreases. Have you guys had that as well?
I do have like a couple of systems that might be like partial taking, but it's more, for me, it's more if I have an idea, I might split the system into different sort of managements that kind of looks like a partial taking, like maybe some half position closes at the end of the day, and I let the other half run for like to capture those bigger trends, but not like pure partial taking as such. But yeah, just got a couple of comments, Max. Do you have a backtest result for this, or have you got like MetaTrader that you can visually show it today, or?
So the fun part of this one, if you want to backtest this system, I don't know, I can share it with you guys. Does that help? I can share it, that everyone can run it. But the difficult part here is that you run it for December 19th until it hits target, and then you have your result, and that's then the backtest report. And then you need to do that for every year, you know? So that's the more difficult thing. I've once built it in a way that you can fully run it. But let's see. Let's see, how does this? I cannot change my share screen to a terminal, right? Or can I?
You should be able to. I think you might have to click present again and maybe change the settings. Do you have to run the back test like that because there's no month filter on Profectus? Is that why?
There is a month filter. You can do that. Right here, can you see the screen?
You just need to.
I'm just loading up 2 seconds. There we go.
Yeah. So here you have the example, like we on the 1 hour time frame, we here are taking long positions. Then here we take more long positions, and you just stack a lot of positions. So this was for this year. And after that, of course, gold tanked. And I think after that, it went flying again. So some people held it for a long time. But now if you have run this, you need to export it indeed to an HTML file and then analyze it for yourself. Can you build it that it just runs? Let me think about that. It might be possible. Let's see if we can figure that out. If you run this, then eventually you have stop trading, right? Here you have stop trading, value becomes 1 after your target is reached. And we never reset that. So this algorithm will never, if you keep running it, the next year it will not trade again. So what you need to do to fix that would be, here you calculate the open price is 0. Then here that candle ID, you want to do this like exactly on the 19th of December on the date. And then you want to find the open price and then the target. And then eventually you want to reset that open price and target when it is hit and then stop trading. But one day you need to allow the system to find this again. It can work. You just need to have to run at time. But we cannot filter that you can do run at time and then run in session to have like the months or week months filter. But then it would be 1st of December the algorithm starts. So that would not be nice. So I would do it year by year. And every year slightly, like we change it every year slightly because we learn during the year. So we are not really running the same exact system every year. We test different things, and it's how we approach it.
Awesome.
So
does anybody
this
have any...
19th, right? 19th of December till target.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I need to look at that. Maybe I'll just buy a load of gold on the 19th of December. Some Christmas money.
That you didn't know the strategy. That's quite cool. I think
I think I've got. I have a few systems on gold that are more active during like December, but nothing quite like that where I would have to reload it each year and tweak things and stuff. Because I'm presuming that you just kind of pull it off your terminal and then reload it back on, and that would reset the trade count to, the stop trading to 0.
Yeah, you can re-upload it. That's an option. Like there are with every trading plan, when do you start is the big question. When do you start the algorithm? And especially with this is, okay, what is the confirmation that we're gonna see the gold run and trade the gold run? And that is like, if you give the date, that's nice, like 19th, okay. But you can also just change that point of ignition to, let's say we break a swing high, that is the start. Then it's of course way easier to automate. But if you really have a specific date, you have to turn on the algorithm at that time. But normally, like all other algorithms I've been using and building doesn't have that. But I think therefore I share that in this webinar to show you something totally different.
Yeah. Do you have anything Blayn that trades like similar to that, a specific date?
Not specific date as such, but over December, like it sounds quite bad, but you'll see in the track record that December was pretty good for me so far. Unfortunately, I was kind of priced out in January for like the way I risk trades, just because I was using ATR stop loss. So I hated January this month for myself because I didn't get involved as much as I wanted to.
Well, I know people that make a killing every year on this pattern, and then I'm like, whoa, what did they build? It's not like we always have the best system. It's every year someone else built like the perfect thing, because you have quite some time to develop it.
Yeah, exactly. You got a whole year essentially till the next one. But yeah, no, that's cool.
Sounds like something that I'd load up on a personal account and just kind of like go pedal to. Mind you, I wonder what sort of margin you need in a personal account these days. I guess you'd be priced out on a regulated broker. You'd have to get some dodgy broker with 400 to 1 leverage in it to be able to trade with a small personal account now.
Yeah. To stack them all, like that is indeed, it's still possible. We do it. You can still stack a lot of positions. I would just recommend to trail them also to break even if your edge allows it. To just take a trade, trail to break even after XR, then enter the next one, because you don't want a big negative float.
So I guess some people might be wondering though, Max, do you have a maximum amount of trades you would take using this? Or will you just keep stacking as many positions as possible as long as like sort of each position is kind of trailed to break even or something like that?
We did, for safety purposes, we did a distance between positions.
Yeah.
And that we are not stacking like at the same level, the positions, because if you then consolidate for, let's say, a few days, and on the 1 hour you're stacking positions, that's not what you want. So yeah, my tip is to either have like a select trades and then count how many trades you have open, and then look if you want to add another one, or check, okay, what is the open price of your selected trades or your last trade, and then decide if you take the next setup or not.
Yeah, awesome. I think that's quite important for if anyone's wanting to try build this at home or over the next couple of days, about making sure that you're not probably over leveraging or over risking in certain times, but with actually having like a risk sort of metric, like as you have as in distance from each next position. So yeah.
I don't have any strategies that do stack positions. I think I have no position filter on pretty much every strategy that I've ever built. I get scared stacking positions, right? But that's because I've never built anything like a distance filter between them, because I've always been worried about the potential of being just chopped about and then getting absolutely slaughtered on like one trade. Let me make us bigger.
I can show you something. Do you know the story of the turtle traders, how they trade?
Yeah.
Yeah, you too?
I don't know.
Okay. So what you have of course the very risky systems, right? The martingales, where price goes against you and you're gonna stack positions while the market is falling and you buy. Those strategies, they are like mean reversion strategies that work for a long time, and then you lose everything. And super risky. Never recommend you to build a martingale. But if you do a reverse martingale, that's like stacking when you're right. That's just like scaling into positions. If you do that, then you're trading like the turtle method, what they did. And I can show you the trading plan. And it's quite interesting. You have like this trading plan. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, my love.
So the trading plan is quite big. I can quickly move through it if we have time for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Go on.
Okay. So what we're going to check here is every tick we want to run the algorithm. So we want to enter live market execution. So if we want to enter a trade live because we break a level or something like that, we want to, of course, check the markets every tick. Then we check if the ask bid, or in this case, the bid price is crossing above a high. So the high we find here. So every candle, we find the highest price of the candle period, 1 till look back value is 20. So what the turtle traders did was, we want to trade if the high of the last 20 days breaks, we want to buy. Okay, we want to take this trade, go long straight away. Well, here you find that high. Here the high is crossed. Then we count if we have 0 trades open of group number 1. So a group numbers in a nutshell is every buy position and every sell position gets like a tag. It's like when the broker executes, there's like a tag to the order. So the system knows, okay, this was group number 1. Then we execute this buy position, and we do that with risk per trade and then a stop loss, which is a price level. And then we have a buy position, and we reset the high back to 0, and that's the trade. Okay, then this is more or less done. We found a high, price broke the high, we took a trade. But what the traders did was we're gonna stack while we move, let's say, half a ATR in profit or 1 ATR or 2 ATR in profit. We want to buy more, okay, because price is really breaking out. So how to build something like that is by selecting that buy trade we just executed, that tag 1, right? We took this buy position with tag number 1. So now we're just every tick we're checking, do we have a buy trade number 1 open? We do. We check the profits, which is 0.5% in profit, okay? And when we're floating 0.5% in profit, once per trade, so only once per buy now group 1 trade, we want to buy again and scale into this position. We're gonna tag this buy with group number 2, and then we're gonna modify the stop loss of group number 1, because that is what we selected here at the top. Gonna adjust only group number 1 buy stop loss to the same stop loss as this buy now trade, which is the same variable, and that variable we find here. We'll share that later. Then after we have this second trade, you're gonna select this second trade, gonna keep checking every tick. If we float 0.5% profit on that trade as well, then once per buy now 2, we're gonna modify the stop loss to break even, and we're gonna buy with a third position. So like how you can visualize this if this happens is you're just watching the daily chart, and then your algorithm takes a trade because the high breaks, and then price keeps moving. We add another buy, and then the stop loss is always at the same place because we have this variable stop loss, and that's adjusted everywhere. So buy 2 is adjusted, buy 1 is adjusted, and now we have our third position. Every time we take a new trade, the old trades trail their stop loss. Then we take this buy 3. We select buy 1 because we also want to modify that stop loss. And now we have 3 trades open with 1 stop loss, okay? And then the last one, scale in 4, happens here, where you have, of course, select buy trade 3, check if it's floating 0.5 hour in profits, 1 per trade. We're gonna execute buy number 4, group number 4. When that happens, we want to also modify the stop loss of a trade. What trade? Well, we selected above here the trade, and that was number 3. Then here we also need to select number 1, trail that stop loss also, and then select number 2, and also trail that stop loss. So all the stops are again at the same place. And now we have 4 trades open, and then we're gonna select 4, check profit loss if it's 0.5%, and then we're gonna trail our stop loss. So when the last position, the highest buy, is floating 0.5%, the rest is of course floating also a lot of profits. Then we're gonna trail the stop loss on the low of the last 1, 2, 5 candles. So the last 5 candles, that low, we're gonna trail all the stops. We're gonna select all the trades, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then we trail the level to that level. You know, this is how you can really reverse martingale. You can really scale in like heavily on positions. And I've tested this on many of my systems, and it is, first of all, insane to to check. Like if you have a position or you have a strategy with a big edge, and then you're gonna scale in 1 or 2 or 3 times. It's crazy. 4 times is a little bit too much in my opinion. You really double or triple your returns, but your drawdown also increases. So it's a little bit too much to keep scaling in. But it's a very interesting strategy. Have you ever seen something like this?
I built something similar. Yeah, I built a scaling system for one of my strategies, and when it does hit, it hits hard, and it's really good. Yeah, no, it's a really, you know, there's only certain markets I find that this is very, very efficient on, but still, it's quite powerful if used correctly. And I would agree. I don't really like after
gold in the past year.
Yeah, with gold.
Oh, go on, Max.
No, with gold, it's like probably a good market for it. Dollar yen, pound yen, like just the GPY pairs, of course, trend nicely.
Yeah,
yeah. There's a couple of questions in the chat, Max. Rob, who goes by Mr. 5000 guy, for whatever reason, this dude has about 1,000 YouTube accounts. Rob, you'll have to tell me why you called Mr. 5000. He asked why use Profectus over FX Dreamer? Would you say it's easier because it looks a ton better compared to Dreamer? So you can touch on Profectus for a minute, Max, if you want. You know, talking about why a trader would use Profectus instead of FX Dreamer. Because there's a lot of people here who, you know, have seen us use Dreamer and have used Dreamer as well. And I've always said Profectus is a lot cleaner looking and a lot easier to use, especially for a beginner. But of course, you know, I'm no expert in Profectus the way that you are.
Yeah, so I developed this platform, of course, from my point of view. Like, I learned a lot of things by just becoming profitable myself, what is exactly needed or required for traders. And our platform has pros and cons compared to other platforms. But what for me is very important is that it is limitless. You can build any type of strategy, whatever trading style it is. That was for me one thing. Then the second thing is making it easier to understand for a lot of people is the second thing. Like just allowing me to build is of course important for me, but also allowing other people that just manually trade right now to be able to automate it as well. And yeah, some features maybe you miss. Maybe we have features other people don't have. I just built this platform to create profitable traders, and a lot of features are just noise and not useful to really move you from A to B. And that's, I think, the biggest difference right now, that this platform is built by actual traders. And therefore, the new features that we are releasing on a weekly or monthly basis will also be in that direction. Like, what can we do to improve the experience of traders, to move them to consistency? I think it has never been easier to become consistently profitable if you have like a platform like this where you can just build a strategy and test it and actually see the data if it works or not, instead of just relying on your emotions or your backtesting manually. So to answer the question, hopefully it's easier to use. It's built by real traders, and the community behind it, everything you tell us, we try to implement. It's really based on your feedback and what we need to become more profitable. And a lot of things I cannot share yet.
I was just going to say, I think that's massive, because I mean, I've used FX Dreamer for a while now, and whilst it's great, it feels like one of those, a little bit like MT5, I guess. It feels like one of those platforms that's stagnant, like nothing will ever change. And you know, obviously, Max, I know you quite well now, so it's easier for me to say this, but you're working on Profectus day in, day out, right? Like it's still a new business. It's still got the owners driving it forward. It's not stagnant. It's not going to stay the same for the next few years, which is always beneficial. Like, because as you build, for example, we get a lot of Darwinex, right? We've got thousands and thousands of traders providing us feedback on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, and it's things that we take back to the team and then they build on. When the owners are kind of, and I'm not saying that the owners of FX Dreamer, I'm just saying in general, when the owners or the builders are stuck in the mud and don't want to change anything, the platform kind of becomes scale. So I don't think you made that sound as special as it actually is having like a team of builders constantly pushing the platform forward. Talsabiri, hi guys, just discovered this today, looks great. I used EA Builder for a long time. Blayn, that comment is perfect. First and foremost, welcome Talsabiri. It's a pleasure to have you here. EA Builder is the one that I found that allows you to build on futures. And do you remember I couldn't find it anywhere, and I was going through all my cookies list. So I was trying to find. I had a conversation probably about a month ago now with somebody, and they were talking about potentially building XAQP into futures markets instead of just trading the CFDs. And I was like, yeah, great idea. Now I need to figure out how to build in futures without, I can code, but very basic level, and probably not fast enough to be able to build something meaningful in the next kind of 5 years. And I found EA Builder, and that you can build on futures. And then I just completely lost track of where I'd saved that URL. So thank you so much, Talsabiri, for coming in and doing that. I'm actually going to bookmark it now so that I have it saved, because I do want to build out XAQP for futures as well. I think you're looking to do the same as well, aren't you, Blayn?
Yeah. Just to kind of get exposure to different side of the market rather than just contract for difference. Also for longer term holds as well. So we're not getting killed by that swap.
Yeah, and also the capacity. Like, although I think for the good thing with CFDs is, I guess the fills are more reliable at certain times of day because it's more of an artificial environment. But the capacity in futures is far wider, specifically for like indices and metals and stuff. Have you ever built on futures, Max?
No.
Or looked into it?
No. We have some people in our team looked into it. There is some demand there, but like I always say to people, I just focus on like what works, try to master that, and I'm not really looking at that at the moment. We're just building a lot of strategies with Profectus, just focused on this. We think you can still get a lot of value out of the markets we can reach here, right? MetaTrader allows like also crypto trading, stock trading. So it's not really a priority for us. Right now, we just want to build more and more systems and master this first.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking because CFDs you're not allowed to trade CFDs in the US. Spain have just banned CFDs, and I'm hoping not, but if the UK ever come out and ban CFDs, I'd like to potentially have a backup there, or otherwise I'll be moving to Amsterdam to stay with you, Max, in the stock exchange. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, Max and I recorded an interview a few months ago, and we published it. How long ago was it? Last month? Was it in February? I think it was in February, right? We published it. I'm going to stick a link to the interview in the comments so that you guys can see it. Let me just grab it up.
For the guys that are here, by the way, what would be things you are curious about, or features or feedback you want to see in a platform like ours? Just to see if you guys have any comments. Because if a lot of people also want to trade futures, of course, we make that happen as well, right?
Talsabiri, I watched. Nice interview. Fantastic. I've just sent the link into the YouTube chats. So if you haven't watched the interview with Max, it's a great one. I would go back and watch that now. I think we've got time for a quick Q&A. If any of you guys have got any questions, just pop them in the chat. Oh God, my camera's like all over the place. I'm on a skew if, but I think it self-corrects. So my camera's like this, but I'm standing straight. Talsabiri, I trade CFDs. I'm going to take a look at that EA Builder because I want to see I want to see what the ability is like with futures. Even if I can just build a couple of futures strategies just to test them out. I do prefer the flexibility with CFDs, like the it's harder to run a low risk portfolio, I guess, with futures, purely based on the fact you need a lot of capital, which obviously you can trade at Darwinex 0 and deploy the strategies there. Blayn, can you because you can trade futures at 0, you can still deploy your Profectus algos on MT5.
Because it's MetaTrader, you can deploy the strategies from Profectus onto a futures platform because it's on MetaTrader. The downside is there's no historic data for it within Darwinex in the cloud. But then again, like for the most part, like the yen contract is just the inverse of the dollar yen. It's I'm still forward testing it as well just to make sure it's all right. But for the most part, like the contracts are almost identical. And
then we're currently working on. We're currently speaking to some people about potentially getting a bridge set up from MetaTrader to some futures platforms as well, right? So that potentially the path could be, if you do trade using MetaTrader and all of your algorithms are built in MQL4 or 5, you can trade them at Darwinex 0 on there and then bridge it across to TradeStation, for example. That's still very early stage and there's a lot of conversations to be had, but the positive signs are that it works, or at least we got proof of concept. Now it's just about making that deal happen and seeing if we can get it kind of set up. Because I think it seems a shame to say bye-bye to all the strategies that we built over the years and rebuild them all. If you can pay for a bridge to get them all copied across, like the only thing is, Blayn, do you have to, if you're copying, for example, from dollar yen to yen futures, do you have to inverse it?
Yeah. So it is the inverse. So like I don't use a trade copy at the moment. I've just purely deployed them all in the inverse of whatever the strategy is.
Okay. So instead of putting
some strategy. Yeah. So like if you've got specific, say, buy only, then it would be short only on dollar yen. Sorry, not dollar yen, on the yen contract on futures.
Yeah.
But again, if it depends on the system that you're building. If you've got a long only logic, then it'll be short on the yen contract, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. But then there's certain ones that like pound dollar, for example, is the same as 6B because pound is still the quote currency.
Yeah. It's
the base currency. Yeah. Sharib Khan said, Profectus AI is great. A few months back, I wanted to learn MQL5 language, but lucky to find this tool this month. Yeah, I mean, listen, I spent some time a few years back learning how to code. I'm not very good. I can read code, I can write code. It takes me a long time. And I'm a little bit out of touch. But the best thing I ever found was block builders. And I think even if you build your own strategies, I've had this conversation with people before who are already decent developers. Even if you want to build the end product yourself, using a block builder is a fantastic way to get proof of concept before you start building any strategy yourself. And then even then, I'm sort of like, well, what's the point? If you've got all the code that's pre-written for you, it kind of doesn't make sense. But I know that some people, especially higher level programmers, are very like sticky about the code that they use and the stuff that they want to build. So I kind of guess it makes sense.
It's I've seen it as well. Like with quite a lot of developers are using Profectus as well, which is like, okay, you can also code it yourself. But a lot of people are realizing that it's not about one trading plan, finding that one will do it for you. It's more about testing a lot of things, right? You need to just build a lot. My rule is always build 100 algorithms, test them. It will be profitable because then you have put in the work, If you then find your algorithms, then you can still manually code them. But indeed, not many people do that, because now they use the platform, they trust the platform, and they like how fast you can build something and test something. But you can, of course, after that, code it if you have a profitable system. And other people sometimes hire like developers. That's what I used to do, like hire developers to build an algorithm for me. But then you realize, yeah, you cannot change anything and probably won't work because there's just one version of a system, and you need at least many, let's say, to keep it simple.
Yeah, 100%. That's how we all operate, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, I just dipped on mine there. Yeah, Max, I've got a question for you. Like, one thing that always comes up in these like live streams is people always will ask, "What if I run out of ideas?" In your time, from your whole time building, have you run out of ideas yet, or do you feel like you've only just done a tip of the iceberg at the moment?
There's still a million things I want to build. I've been doing this for such a long time, and I never run out of ideas. It's super weird. If you we are educated in this space, at least if I speak for myself, is you need to trade this trading plan, and that's everything, right? That's just what you learn, especially as a manual trader, and that's it. But then during your experience trading that style, things happen in the markets. Maybe you have a daily bias or weekly bias, monthly bias. You have a lot of questions like, do I still take this trade if this and this happens? And if you have those questions, you can test all of these, right? So you have already 100 other IDs you can test. Trading through moving averages, trading through support resistance, trading from supply and demand zones, trading fair value gaps, like whatever. There are a billion styles and you can use them together. And I never run out of IDs. Unfortunately, I cannot test all the IDs. Maybe in my lifetime I can, but it's just too much. You need to prioritize what ID makes sense, what has potential. And if I build something, I just quickly MVP it, just have a simple version of it, run it, see if the backtests are a little bit good. And I have my rule set for that, like my criteria. If it looks like this, then it's worth pursuing further. And if it's not that good, then I just throw it away and let's go to the next ID. Because I have so many IDs to test that I need to make a decision where to put my time.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important to kind of have a no-code block builder as well. Because imagine if you had to then go and code all this yourself, or even hire a development team to do this, you wouldn't even what you can build in a week. I don't know how long it would take for a developer to go and do it. You know what I mean? So I think that's why definitely using these no-code builders like yours at Profectus is so important in the modern day to kind of get ahead in the race, try and build everything as quick as possible within a structure.
I reckon that's what a high-level developer would do anyway. They'd be using their own block builder. They'd write a piece of code for XYZ conditions, save it, and they'd probably just put that into all of their strategies moving forward that they use for that. So they're probably, without realizing it, doing a similar sort of thing. It's just they're writing their own code sort of thing. Max, there's a funny question just for context. Prem said, "Where's Andrew Tate?" That's a reference to Sanjeev from our session yesterday. Andre says, "Great stuff, guys. Thanks for sharing. It's a pleasure to have you in the session, dude." And then there's another question from Shoaib Khan. Curious to know, what is the approximate number of algos Max made using Profectus?
I personally made, or in total people make?
No, you personally.
I can check this maybe. Let's see if I can check it. But I am
oh, we've lost him. It's not many. It's made his computer.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. No, yeah. How many times did I press the download button? I cannot count. I think 1,000 times, maybe more. I think more. It's I don't know. I cannot give a number, but at least 1,000 times I've built something. But also, if you have one ID, you have so many variations, right?
Yeah.
But so far, I want to give away rewards, like literally awards, like physical prizes to the best users on the platform, like the most who uses the platform the most. But so far, I remain in the top of the list, but that also keeps me like knowing what maybe traders need. It keeps me active. I hate it if someone builds a platform or a platform that he doesn't use himself. I think some people might use Profectus more than I can do it because I'm also busy with other things around just building myself. Also, the platform needs to be updated, new features need to be released, and of course these calls. So I do find it important that you are using the platform a lot yourself.
There you go. That's a challenge to anyone that's watching today's stream. See if you can get to the top of the
Max.
Yeah. Well, you can hack the system as well, right? We cannot see that much. So it's like if you just keep pressing download. So it's not that safe to give away awards yet.
Oh, God. All right, dude. Well, Max, we're going to wrap up the session here. So I just want to say a massive, massive thank you for joining us today and, showing us Profectus, showing us how you build systems, because that's probably the most complex strategy that we've shown on one of these Tuesday sessions, isn't it, Blayn?
This one.
At least anyway. That amount of trees and lines kind of makes me nervous. But yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on, dude. It's always great to catch you up, always great to have a chat. And to everybody who's posted a comment or asked a question, thank you very much for joining the session. Talsabiri, thanks all, a new subscribe today. Thank you very much for being here. Shoaib Khan, last question, when am I going to see you guys again? That's a question you're going to have to direct to Max. Blayn and I come on and stream 3 times a week. We do these strategy development sessions every Tuesday. And then, depending on how frequent you guys want to see Max come on and do some development with us and how much free time he has, of course, then maybe we can schedule one in for every couple of weeks or every month or so, and then kind of come together as, what did Tal call it earlier? A strategy building think tank. Strategy think tank. I like that. I think maybe we'll change this session title to strategy think tank moving forward. So anyway, we'll have a conversation with Max outside of the stream. We'll book in another session maybe for in a month or so, and then hopefully that kind of answers your question, but it doesn't answer your question at the same time. But yeah, thank you all for joining, guys. Blayn, Max, thank you for coming on and hosting the session and going through all of the stuff that you have going on at Profectus. I do recommend going and watching the interview that I recorded with Max. It is in the comments. And if you do have any further questions, please come into the Darwinex Zero Discord. We have a channel called Strategy Development, I believe it's called. Yeah, strategy development in the English section of the Discord. So if you have any questions after the stream, pop them in there. If it's regarding strategy development, Blayn or I will come back to you. If it's regarding Profectus, I will forward those questions on to Max so that you can get an accurate answer. But guys, one last time, thank you very much for joining. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're watching this from in the world. And we will catch you in the next stream. Peace out, guys.